What's going on, Jags fans? So before we get into the topic of this video, I would just like to say that if you have never come across my channel before, this is your first time watching one of my videos, and if you would like to subscribe to the channel, it's very easy. There's only 3 criteria in order for you to do so. First one being you love your Jacksonville Jaguars, you hate the Tennessee Titans with everything in your heart and soul, and you believe in your heart and soul that Shad Khan is the biggest buffoon that has ever graced the NFL. If you believe those 3 things, I beg you, hit subscribe, hit the like button, you won't regret it. So in this video, we got 3 categories. We got unlikely, likely, and my wish list for the Jaguars free agency period that's coming up in just under a month now. I believe it's the 15th or 16th, or I think the tampering period is like the 14th of March, I think. And then they can officially sign guys on the 16th. So it's coming up. It's just a few weeks away. Football really never dies, you guys. It's a never-ending cycle. So we're going to start with the unlikelies first. Number 1 is going to be Davante Adams. I just can't see Davante Adams leaving Green Bay. I think the Packers are going to do everything under the sun in their power in order to keep Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. It's the logical thing for them to do. I think they'll do it. Number 2, now for those of you who may have fit those 3 criteria and hit the subscribe button 30 seconds ago, I hope that you don't hit the unsubscribe button, because the second guy on this list for unlikely is Mr. Allen Robinson. Now look, I loved Allen Robinson when he played here for the Jaguars. However, I just can't see A-Rob coming home, unfortunately. I don't think he'll stay with the Bears, but I think he's at the point in his career where he's going to want to go to a team where he feels like he can win now. And I don't think the Jaguars, unfortunately, are there yet. But he's going to go to a team where he feels like he can win now and he has a chance to win a ring. I just feel like that's where Allen Robinson, where his heart is. Third guy on this list, I put down Juju Smith-Schuster. I feel like he's kind of like another guy to where if he doesn't stay in Pittsburgh, he's going to go to a team like New England or something like that. I just can't see him ever coming here. Fourth on this list, I put down Von Miller, mostly because of his age, and I think the Jaguars need to go. I think we should address pass rusher in the draft, even if it's not at 1, maybe in the 2nd or 3rd round. And I just think Von Miller, his age and the price that we would have to pay for him, I just don't think it's worth it. Michael Gallup, I put down for number 5, mostly because I feel like Dallas will probably try to retain him. So I'm going to move to the wish list before I get to the likely and break all your hearts. So the wish list part of this video, number 1, now again, I am going to assume in this scenario that, excuse me, that Cam Robinson is no longer part of the picture. Even though, excuse me, even though there's word going around that the Jaguars looking to franchise tag him again, which I think is totally stupid. If you're going to keep Cam, give Cam a deal to me. I don't want to franchise tag him, because when you franchise tag a player a second time, you're paying him so much money that I'm not really sure Cam is worth for just 1 year on a 1-year rental. We're going to keep Cam. I give him a 3, 4, 5. Well, maybe not 5. Like a 3 or 4 year deal and just go with it. But in this scenario, Cam Robinson is no longer part of the picture. So my number 1 wish list is Teron Armstead, former left tackle of the New Orleans Saints. Dude's a beast. Dude's good. And I know a lot of Jags fans want Evan Neal. But we want Evan Neal based off of what we think he could be and how he could be better than Cam Robinson. Well, if the Jaguars signed Teron Armstead, we would be getting someone better than Cam Robinson. Guaranteed. He's number 1 on my wish list. because this way, well, actually, let me finish my wish list before I say that. Number 2, I have Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin has been a wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I kind of debated putting him on the likely side because he's coming off a torn ACL, and we all know how much Trent Baalke loves his torn ACLs. So I kind of teetered with that, but I threw him on my wish list for now. Number 3, I got Mr. Mayor of Jacksonville himself, Calais Campbell. Calais, come home. Spend the last year of your career with the Jaguars. When the Jaguars traded him, he publicly came out and said that he was planning on spending his career, finishing his career in Jacksonville, which that's amazing that someone like him would say that about us. I love Calais Campbell. If you're a real Jaguar fan, I know you love Calais Campbell as well. The 3 years that he was with us, he was easily a top 5, top 3 even favorite player on the team. Come home, finish your last year, and then retire and just be back with us again, Calais. Number 4, I have Chandler Jones, pass rusher who last year was with the Arizona Cardinals. He is at times a dominant pass rusher, and he would be an excellent pairing with Josh Allen. And like I was going to say a few seconds ago about Teron Armstead, is if the Jaguars are able to get Teron Armstead and Chandler Jones, even if that's all that they do in free agency, you can do whatever you want with that number 1 pick. Like, you don't have to feel like, because, okay, let's be real. The 3 biggest needs on this team is pass rush, the left tackle position until something's decided with Cam Robinson, and wide receiver. You're not going to pick a receiver at 1. There's no Jamar Chase in this draft, so you're not going to pick him at 1, okay? So you have to find out what's going to happen with Cam Robinson. If you're moving on from him, go and get Teron Armstead. You sign Chandler Jones. Those 2 needs right there are met with solid veteran NFL players, and then you can do pretty much whatever you want with the number 1 pick. Although, if that scenario were to happen where the Jaguars were to grab both in free agency, I would tend to think that Thibodeau or Hutchinson is essentially locked to be a Jaguar, because Walker Little has to be on the field. Jawan Taylor has not earned the right to walk into training camp, assuming he is the starting right tackle for the Jaguars. So whether you whether you sign Teron Armstead to be the left, and then you have Walker Little and Jawan Taylor battle it out at the right tackle, so be it. I'm fine with that. But Walker Little has to be on the field in some way, shape, or form. And I don't necessarily know if he's a guard. I think he's more of a natural tackle. So that we'll see. But again, if they don't get Armstead and they don't re-sign Cam, this time next month, then we pretty much know that Evan Neal is the number 1 pick. That's the thing that's weird about this draft, is literally depending on what they do in free agency, we will know who we're picking first. Unless, I don't even know if I want to speak this into existence. Could the Jaguars roll? Could Doug Peterson be comfortable heading into the 2022 season with Walker Little as the left tackle and Jawan Taylor as right tackle? I don't know. We'll find out. That's why we talk about it. We'll find out. Number 5 for wish list. This might be kind of a surprising name for some of you, but I put down Courtland Sutton, wide receiver for the Denver Broncos, just because the dude is still young. He's just coming off his rookie contract with Denver, and the dude he's one of the best young wide receivers in the NFL. I think he would be a great guy for Trevor to kind of develop a connection with and to grow with. So Courtland Sutton's number 5. Now we're going to get into the likely. And I say likely just because I don't know. I I don't really have a rhyme or reason. I just feel like if the Jaguars were to sign someone, because again, I feel like last year in free agency, I feel like we didn't do enough. Like we didn't sign any like really huge name guys, but I want to assume it's because it was the first year and now the second year into this rebuild. Um, Maybe the Jaguars are a little bit more aggressive. But number one, I have Brandon Sheriff, former guard of the Washington Commanders now. Because as of right now, the Jaguars do not have a guard. They literally do not have a guard outside of Ben Barch on their football team. Andrew Norwell is a free agent. AJ Cann is a free agent. So Brandon Sheriff has been one of the best guards in the league. I would bring him in, protect Trevor. Number two, I have Mike Gesicki, tight end for the Miami Dolphins. Simply because Doug Peterson loves using tight ends in his offense. And I know a lot of Jaguar fans like Dan Arnold, but Dan Arnold is just an okay player. Dan Arnold, Mike Gesicki is better. Dan Arnold is not going to strike fear into defensive coordinators' hearts. I feel like Mike Gesicki is a better player. I feel like he's someone the Jags could target. Number three, I have Mike Williams, wide receiver for the Chargers. And I put him on this list because when the Eagles made their Super Bowl run, one guy that Carson Wentz threw at a lot was Alshon Jeffrey. And I feel like Mike Williams is almost kind of like that similar player, like that big body type receiver that can pretty much just go deep and you can just throw it down to. Someone like that would be great for Trevor. I know Justin Herbert obviously has had a lot of success early in his career throwing to guys like him and Keenan Allen. So if Trevor can get one of those guys, that would be a great thing, obviously, for the Jags. Number four, I put down Akeem Hicks, interior defensive lineman, currently with the Chicago Bears. I put him down simply because the Jaguars, although they improved a lot from the 2020 season with their run defense, we are still getting gashed in the run game. Defense could not get off the field, especially on third and short situations, too many times. And I feel like Akeem Hicks, his specialty is stopping the run on that interior. I still feel like the Jaguars are not good enough on that. So bringing in a veteran like that, just on a small deal, I feel like would be a good thing. And then number five, some of you will be happy by this. I put down DJ Chark simply because I feel, although if he's asking for too much money, I wouldn't do it. I feel like the Jaguars could bring back DJ Chark on a team-friendly deal because he kind of developed a little bit of connection, I feel like, with Trevor the first month that he played last year. And again, God knows that we need wide receiver help. So I put DJ Chark down on the likely. So again, quick rundown. Unlikely, Devontae Adams, Allen Robinson, Juju Smith-Schuster, Von Miller, Michael Gallup. That's your unlikely. Wish list, Teron Armstead, Chris Godwin, Calais Campbell, Chandler Jones, Cortland Sutton. And the likely, I have Brandon Sheriff, Mike Gesicki, Mike Williams, Akeem Hicks, and DJ Chark. That's my list. Let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments below. Let me know who your unlikelies are, your likelies, your wish list. That's all I got. Go Jags, screw the Titans. That's all I got.